Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is Aseem and welcome to the Hacker2Hacker series. I have another wonderful hacker today with me. He's Vaibhav and he's going to teach us about some of the recon techniques that he has discovered or he has mastered into. So I'll just give a brief intro and then we'll switch to Vaibhav and he'll introduce himself. And I'll have a few questions and then we can go on with the teaching part. So currently Vaibhav is working with network intelligence, dealing with various critical projects and actively participating in developing and pen testing across penetration, presenting training across different platforms. His skills include identifying vulnerabilities in different websites, reporting them as bug bounty hunter, and also he's skilled in various programming languages like C, PHP, Flutter, Java, and Python, which is a huge. I am not at all skilled in all these languages. I just know Flutter, Python, and Golang somewhat. He has been acknowledged under top 15 hacker by NCIIPC. If you don't know NCIIPC, it's National Critical Infrastructure something corporation. So basically, it
Yeah,
looks out for the critical infrastructure of the government, like SCADA systems and dams and all those kinds of things. So like you report to and CERT India, you also report to NCIIPC as well. So if you find any critical bugs, you report to them. So he's under the top 15 hackers there. It's a big thing. And he has been rewarded Hall of Fames and Bounties by different organizations for helping them secure the infrastructure. And that's a very proud thing to talk about. So hey Vaibhav, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Hasim. How are you?
I'm good. So would you like to introduce yourself to the audience? I gave a short intro, but
Sure.
yeah.
So guys, I am Vaibhav Lakhani. I've been into this field from the past three and a half years. And as Asim rightly said, I have been hacking uh, into this thing from quite a long time. I've been mastering about web, mobile, APIs, thick lines sometimes, currently learning cloud security. And also I'm CEH and EJBD certified as well. So yeah, that's a small introduction about
Oh, cool. He's just being humble. Okay, let's start with a few questions because we have quite a strong title here. So yeah. How did you get started into cybersecurity and what's your journey like? How has it been? How do you see yourself going from here?
So it's a kind of funny story. I actually wanted to hack one of my neighbor's Wi-Fi system, and as every individual in their young self does, I just downloaded an application WPA2 cracker that used to come during those times
Yeah.
on Android phones and tried hacking into the Wi-Fi system. But eventually I realized that it's not about just hacking into someone's system, but it's more of securing it. So then I started learning more and more, started with the basic course from Udemy, ethical hacking basic course. Then I came to know it's an endless journey. There are various different domains. Actually, there are so many domains into security field that people get confused. They only just focus on one or two domains. And this thing I realized very late. So I started with application security. That's what is the most thing which works in India. Started with web, and I currently plan to cover all aspects of application security. So be it web, mobile, API, tech clients, everything. Cloud security is one of my bucket list, as well as OSCP certification is one of my bucket list. So that's the goal which I've set for 2023.
Oh, that's really good. I mean, OCP is quite good. I've heard.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah. So
Yeah.
when was this like Wi-Fi hacking? Which year was it? Like, when did you do it?
It was around in ninth or tenth standard, I
It
believe.
was way.
It's way back. Yeah.
Oh, I see. A lot of.
Then my interest actually,
Uh-huh.
the interest actually got diverted into other fields as well. So in India, uh, s- the education system is such that they only push you towards development field.
That's true.
So maximum jobs, if you see, it's just going to push you to
All,
development. Python karo, Java karo.
everything learning in India is totally to how to get a job so that you can have some earning.
Exactly.
There's nothing around.
Yes.
That's fine. I mean, because
Yes. Even in my college graduation days, I still remember there were only three people who were into security field, and कॉलेज में सिक्योरिटी के जॉब्स आते ही नहीं है सो इट्स very difficult to get into a security
that's still
job role.
do more than mine. In mine, it was only me who was doing, and then I got a few folks. So it was a bit difficult. I knew that if I don't
Right.
that I don't like if I don't get a job, then the people who are doing like who are juniors to me, they would feel that there is no job into it, and they would start not doing it. So we had to make that
Right.
survive. And a few of my juniors, they are into now cybersecurity. They are doing quite good. So I might
Okay.
plan to have interview them as well. So anyone who is just seeing
Yeah.
this for the first time, so I hear chronicle the journey of a lot of hackers who have done something, who are already doing it. If you want to get on the show, you can also ping me. And if you have something to show, something to display, people will definitely get to learn. There's a lot of effort that gets into building a video. So I would ask you, if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe and share this with your friends, colleagues, whosoever wants to get into hacking or learn the hacking the proper way. Sorry, that was just a promotion of my channel, but yeah. So you mentioned how you got into cybersecurity, how that there was a curiosity about hacking the Wi-Fi, and then you started reading, and now you're focusing on a certain aspect of it, because I mean it's very broad. You can't
Right.
dilute your focus to each of these things. There's not the network security, there's web application security, there's cloud security, and then even in cloud there are multiple segments, multiple clouds. All those things matter for a person who is just getting into cybersecurity. Like you have recently joined the professional force, right? So you know how things you're facing some hurdles getting a job. Maybe it's very recent to you. Like I faced these hurdles 4 years back. For you, it may be a year back or 2 years back. So
Right.
in the current scenario, how do you think a fresher who wants to get a job or land a job, what are things that he should be prepared for? What, like, the interviewers, what they ask? What are different job roles that you have seen, that you have applied for, that you think that, okay, for, let's say, for a threat analyst, these are things that would be looked. Whatever you have applied, that's fine. I don't suppose you would be applying for all the roles, but whatever roles you're applying, I'd like to know how the job market is, what freshers should like focus on.
Okay. So the first and foremost is to every fresher who I talk with, they feel like ethical hacking kar diya to that's done. I would be getting a job. No, that's not the case. That's definitely not the case. Be it any field in cybersecurity, ethical hacking is the first step you have to get into. Now, when I say ethical hacking, I am covering over the topics over here, such as networking topics. Besides networking, how basic tools such as Metasploit or Burp Suite, these basic tools, password tracking, password spraying attacks, different type of brute force attacks, DOS, DDoS,
Mm-hmm.
these things you should know very well. So cybersecurity, you can consider it's a whole domain wherein you have different types of branches. I would just like to share my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's totally visible. Yeah, I see a mic.
Perfect. So if I if you check over here, we actually have different types of fields which are available inside cybersecurity. There are multiple fields which are available. And to get into each and every domain of this, or any one domain of this, ethical hacking is the first and the basic step which one has to cover. Once that is done, he or she has to take into the interest whether which side you want to work on, whether you want to work on to the defensive side, whether you want to work on the offensive side. uh, People actually get confused. People just go with the huge terms such as blue teaming, red teaming, pen tester,
Mhm.
malware analysis, etc. So they just carry forwarded. They are just carried forwarded by these huge terms. But the depth of what each thing does or what each role does is what which is something missing. To know that, first understand what that technology means or what that domain means, and once you understand that what that particular domain is, then check out whether you are interested in that domain or not. So for me, I was very much interested into offensive section. I'm very much interested into red teaming exercises, penetration testing exercises. So I created that sort of thing. Once you know that what interests you, whether it's pen testing or the defensive side, SOC, cyber forensics, etc., start learning in depth of those things. So ethical hacking is the first step. You completed ethical hacking. After that, you have to learn about that particular field. So for example, let's take an example of pen testing.
Mhm.
Try learning everything about pen testing. Try learning about web. Try learning about mobile, API, everything. And generally, what companies want, in India, the market is such that companies want someone who is very much experienced. Experience by आता कैसे है? Internships से. So try finding an internship. Although there are very less companies in India who gives internship, but yes, there are companies who does provide internship. Big Fours specifically, all Big Four companies do provide internships. You just have to look out for them.
Oh,
Once you,
sorry to
yeah,
interrupt. Can you just name the big four, because a lot of the viewers might not know the big four.
sure. So the Big Fours are the top four companies in consulting: Deloitte, Ernst and Young, KPMG, and PwC. These are the Big Fours. Their ranking depends on the annual uh, profit which they book or annual turnover which they have. But generally, annually, these four companies only we see are the top ones who are able to make more profit. So Deloitte, Ernst and Young, that's EY, PwC, and KPMG. These are the four companies. That's what we call them as Big Four. Big Fours generally give out internships. So yes, you can go for that. Even some startup companies, since they are startups, they are very initial stages. They also do look out for some interns. So yes, that you just have to Google it out. You just have to check out on Instagram, LinkedIn. They generally post jobs and internships of the same. So yeah, that's the second thing which you have to do: build an interest in one particular domain. Thirdly, read reports. The more you read reports, the more knowledge you keep updated each and every day. That's more and more, you will be better into this field. Cybersecurity is just one field wherein each day there's something new comes up. Each day there's some new attack which happens up. You will never come to know कि भाई ये यहाँ से यहाँ कैसे change हो गया. So you have to stay updated with the current affairs, the current news, uh, the current attacks, the current tools which are being developed into this field. And finally, create a community. Stay connected with the community. So in my professional experience and my job experience, I've seen this thing. Ki bhai, uh, so I'm into pen testing. Okay, so I have seen this, that if someone knows about web application pen testing, unka knowledge is not updated, neither they are connected with the community. Now, once they are not connected with the community, what happens is they get restricted to some amount of knowledge. So for example, let's say XSS. There are three types of XSS. We all know: reflected, stored, and DOM-based XSS. Today I ask someone that what is blind XSS, some people will not be knowing. Why? Because they're not connected with the community. They have never seen or never heard of such term. So being connected with the community is again one of the most important steps. So yeah, as a fresher, these are the four things which I believe someone has to check
I
out for.
just I just summarized it I just written it down. So first is read in depth about particular topics. Let's say if you are going pen testing, read in depth about it. Second is apply for internships, because that is where you get the practical knowledge. Maybe apply for Big Four or other startups located on LinkedIn and other places. Third is read reports, because that's where you get updated information and what is actually working in the wild. And the last one is stay connected with the community, which I have seen people, if they are not regularly being updated. It's like, even I was talking to in the morning as well. So even they also mentioned that because a lot of people, they go to null meetups and such, they talk to people directly and then they learn a lot, which otherwise they might have to spend hours just to figure out how things work. So yeah.
Right. It's not about spending hours. There's a psychological fact behind it. Every individual's brain or mindset works differently. And into this field, since we have to break into things or defend it, we uh, every individual would be thinking differently that how they are going to break into things. So
Exactly.
the more you stay connected to the community, the more you get different types of ideas. That's the reason why meetups
Doing the
happen.
same thing, you would have 10 different ways to do the same thing, and then you would learn, okay,
Right.
cool. That's really nice. So coming with that to the next one. So where do you see yourself? Where do you see cybersecurity evolving in the next 10 years? Like, I've talked to a lot of people about this, like ChatGPT and everything is coming up, but
Right.
what are the major key factors that you see evolving in cybersecurity in the next 10 years, or let's say next 5 years?
So automation, that's the thing which us cybersecurity professionals, we have to fear as well, and we do not have to fear as well. It's like two sides of the same coin. Automation is definitely going to help us automate a lot of different tasks. So for example, ChatGPT. If I just go on to ChatGPT and say write a report of XSS attack, it's going to give me a huge report and just copy paste things and done. But one thing with ChatGPT or any other automated tool cannot do is your logic. Your logic is the thing which ChatGPT won't be able to do. In the next 10 years, cybersecurity is definitely going to be automated. Network, we currently see fully automated. Like we have NASA's professional, we have NASA's expert, which is coming out. Uh, there are a lot of different tools. There's a tool called as Nuclei for web pen testing. So everything gets automated, but what cannot get automated is the logic. Automation can make mistakes as well. So in the next 10 years, definitely, entire application security, I believe, entire application security is going to get automated, but that won't cut the jobs. Why? Because uh, since it's automated, there's a high chance that it can be false positives as well. And logic, which I'm talking about, logic as in logical vulnerability. So for example, today, uh, my if there's an e-commerce website, my automation tool will be able to find all the parameters, it will be able to find all the endpoints, it will be able to find some defined attacks such as reflected accesses, but it's not going to find me business logical vulnerabilities. Well, logic is important. So for example, if it's an e-commerce website, if I enter negative quantity, that's one thing which I cannot do using automation. So in the next 10 years, although everything will be automated, but yes, we do not have to fear of it. Why? Because logic is one thing which can never get automated. So yes, this is what I feel in the next 10 years will happen.
Even I read it somewhere that you should not fear AI getting a job. You should fear the person using AI that would take your job away. So it's the same applies
Right.
as well. Person who is good
Yes.
at automation, they might be building better automations than what you are doing. So you might get obsolete and redundant about it. And let's see how that goes. Cool.
Right.
Any hobbies, that things you do apart from your work that you love?
Uh, Not as such, but yeah, I sometimes love reading. Reading about how startup companies work. The last book which I read was Doglapan by Ashni Grover. It's a
Oh, okay.
wonderful.
ये सब दोगलापन है.
It's a really wonderful book. And except for that, I like to play video games. That's all.
Oh, which game do you like to play? I'm just curious.
I currently play Valorant and FIFA
Ah,
23.
it's nice, it's nice. Any particular authors that you like reading from?
Uh, I used to love Roald Dahl. It's one of the famous authors. And Robert Brown. His poems are very famous.
Okay,
So yeah.
cool.
Okay.
I think that concludes our interview part, but let's see
Sure.
what you're gonna teach us today. So up to you now.
Sure. Definitely. Okay. Sure. So I'll just share my screen. And today, what I would be teaching is about some of the recon techniques which I believe ethical hackers mess up. There are a lot of recon techniques, but when you're reconning, you always stick to passive subdomain enumeration. That's it. We always believe that once passive subdomain enumeration is done, that's it. Everything gets completed. But no, it's not the case. We'll be talking about different recon techniques, and let's start with it without much time. So the first one is active subdomain enumeration. There are two parts to this. One is brute forcing subdomains using word list, and secondly, sorry, this is uh, the title is same, but this is mixing up subdomains. Okay, mixing up subdomain words using word list. These are the two parts of subdomain enumeration, or I can even say that this is permutation brute forcing. Okay, instead of mixing up subdomains, permutation brute forcing. So while you are doing subdomain enumeration, passive subdomain enumeration is where you extract subdomains from a lot of different areas and you save it to a file. Then you run a tool, maybe HTTP probe or HTTPX, in order to know whether the subdomains are active or not, or whether the subdomains are valid or not. If those are not valid, you just remove them from your list. But there's slight a chance. Okay, there's slight a chance that a developer has created a subdomain and it has just created the subdomain. There's no entry in the DNS, or there's no web crawler who has crawled that particular subdomain. And that's what we call as active subdomain enumeration. You find such subdomains which are not crawled by the web crawlers, okay, or which for which the DNS entries are still not made yet. Now, why is it important to find active subdomain enumeration? Why is important to find active subdomains? Is because active subdomains are sometimes those where hackers or pen testers do not go faster. Okay, so if you're hacking onto a platform, there's a chance that the hacker or the pen tester has missed this one, because for active subdomain enumeration, it takes a lot of time. So what I'm going to do is I will be showing you how to exactly perform active subdomain enumeration. As I said, there are two parts. One is brute forcing subdomains using word list, and second is permutation brute forcing using word list. Okay. So for the first one, brute forcing subdomain using word list, we are just going to use FUF, which is first faster you fool. That's the full form for FUF. You can find FUF online. FFUF, just write FFUF, and over here on site GitHub, you are going to get this. So you can see it's first faster you fool. And yeah, this is how. For the installation part, you can simply go over here using Golang, you can install it. If not, you can install it using Git as well, and you'll be able to find over here as well. So I already have this installed, and you need a word list. So what in this case, what we are going to do is we are going to go with asset node word list. You can just go on to this website, which is wordlist.assetnode.io. Scroll down over to the bottom, and inside here you can see there's something called as best DNS word list. It's 139 MB, and if you just check out the line count, it is around 99 lakhs. So close to 1 crore words are present inside this best DNS word list. Now, what are we going to do over here is pretty much simple. Just pop up my subline, and what we are going to do. So let's say our target is hacker1.com, just an example. And we have a word list, let's say something like this, alpha, beta, gamma, hello. Okay, so this is my small word list. We are going to take each word, okay, from this word list. So let's say alpha, we are going to put it just above or just before hacker1.com. So our new thing becomes alpha.hacker1.com. And if we are going to get a response code of, let's say 200 OK, or 302 found, or let's say 301 redirect, something like this. If we are going to get something like this, then we say that this is a valid subdomain. Okay, this is a valid subdomain. And if we get some error code such as 404, for example, 404, then we say it's not a valid subdomain.
All
Valid
by
subdomain.
the
You can
command itself, right?
sorry.
So all this is by the MC, the match thing from the FFA itself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All this thing would be done by the dash MC thing, which is present over here. So I have a list of status codes which we have to check out for, which is 200, 301, 302, and 403. I've included 403 because once I get 403, I can check out whether using some techniques I'm able to bypass 403 or not. So
Yep.
it's very important to get 403 as well.
Oh, so
So let's run this.
just letting everyone
Yep.
know. So MC is for matching code, and code are these status codes that you get a response when you do HTTP request. 403 is a not authorized request, which Vaibhav is saying he will try to bypass it. So yeah, Vaibhav, continue with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go on to my Kali machine. Just over here, and just going to run this thing. So just paste it, and word list we have to provide, which should be inside workspace, word list,
Vaibhav, sorry,
and
see the
this.
login screen. Oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. And we'll just provide 200, 301, 302, 403, hit enter. And once we hit enter, you can see that the requests have been started. These are the different requests which it's processing. And if you see over here, I just interrupted it. If you see, there's something called as support, which we found. So this means that there's a domain which is called as support. The status code for the same is 403. Okay, so we just open this, and there would be something called as support.hacker1.com. Hit enter. And okay, perfect. It got redirected to docs.hacker1.com. Okay. So now I know that there's a subdomain called as support.hacker1.com, which gets redirected to docs.hacker1.com. Okay. And although support.hacker1.com, according to my FUF tool, is 403, but still it got redirected to docs.hacker1.com. So what I can do over here is I can just fire my burp suit up and try to visit support.hacker1.com. Try to check that what under the hood exactly is happening. Why is it going to docs.hacker1.com? There would be one such request which would be going to docs.hacker1.com. And then, we can just play with the host header and try to redirect the website to some other website. So that can be a case of open redirection, or on support.hacker1.com, I can just try to run my spider and crawl things up, find some parameters and try if I can get if I can get SSRF attack, if I can hit the burp collaborator, something like that. So this is how you can find out about support.hacker1.com.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, cool.
So this was one of the technique for active subdomain enumeration. The second technique inside active subdomain enumeration is permutation brute forcing using word list. So what happens over here that we actually have an entire subdomain list. Okay, the known subdomains list. You can find it using the first technique as well as using passive scan. And once you find the entire subdomain list, what you do is you collect all the words from the list. So for example, if I say, let's say I know that there's alpha.hacker1.com. I know that there's beta.hacker1.com. Let's say support.hacker1.com. I know that these are three subdomains of hacker1.com. What I'm going to do is this. I would try for alpha.support.hacker1.com. I've permuted, I've mutated, I've added support word with alpha.hacker1.com. Or else I can do this thing as well, support.alpha.hacker1.com. So there's a good chance that this subdomains can also be valid, right?
I've seen
There's a
wild.
yeah, yes. So there's a good chance that this can be valid as well. Similar case, alpha.beta.support.hacker1.com. There's a good chance that this can also be a valid subdomain.
Just a quick question. How many levels deep do you usually go when you're doing this? Like one level, two?
So I actually have an automated tool for this, which will take all the words and it's going to have the permutations and it's going to check out automatically for each one of them. So let's say if I have 100 words, it's going to have a permutation of 100 into 100 words and 100 subdomains. So it's going to have a permutation of 100 into 100. So that many times it's going to check out for.
Oh, I still didn't get, like, is it 2-level deep or is it 3-level deep? Like, it's right now you're 3-level deeps of HackerOne, right? Alpha, beta support.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's going to go 100 levels deep if I have a word list of 100, if I have 100 subdomains.
Are you sure about it? 100 levels deep. Or is
Yes,
it like
yes.
100 into 100, like 2 words cross PNC of 2 words, A cross B, and then the main domain?
Yeah. So let's say if I have 100 subdomains, okay. So each subdomain would be having so alpha, beta support. These are 3 subdomains, 3 cross 3. So this is going to go 9 levels. So I would be getting 9. I
Oh,
would be checking for 9 permutations.
no, 9 permutations
Yeah.
instead of 9. Oh, 9 levels. With levels, I meant like A1.2.3.3. So I thought hundreds of that would.
No, yeah, not,
Okay, I get it. Oh, fine.
not that way.
100 into 100, so 10,000 subdomains you would be checking for this. Oh,
Right.
cool, cool, I get it.
Yes. So that's how we are going to do is we will be using this tool called as alt DNS. Now this is definitely going to take a lot of time. So what I've done is I've already created this one and I've checked it. So this is alt DNS. It's an automated tool that discovers subdomains through alterations and permutations. And in fact, alt DNS is powerful. It can resolve the subdomains as well. So it can tell you whether
Okay.
whether the
Just getting the DM, whether
domain is yes,
so if it gets
yes,
any
whether the domain
response, it would just skip it.
right, yes,
That's
and yeah, and you have to supply over here 3 things. One is the already known subdomains. Second is where you want to save the output. Thirdly, the number of words. So what words you want to add inside this. So what you can do is if you have some custom words such as let's say admin, and you want everything to be added with admin. So something like this, admin dot support dot. There's a chance that this can also happen as well. So if you want to do this as well, you can add it using dash w, and dash r is for resolving, dash s is for saving the output as well. And this words where this words which we are talking about, the words.txt, this file already comes pre-built from here, or if you want some custom words to be added as well, so this is a huge file of 232 words. If you want some more custom words which needs to be added over here, you can just append it to this particular list.
so
So
we can
let's
also use the asset note list here, right?
right, definitely we can use it over here as well.
Oh, there are 2 options.
So
There's -o for the data output, and then there's a -s for saving the results. So data output saves everything, and result is only for the valid results. Is that?
yeah, so dash o data output, it's going to save the entire list of altered and permuted
Okay, I
subdomains.
see.
And what dash s does is it's going to just save those which are resolved.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Cool.
So let's see this in action. So I actually have it pre-installed. So what I'm going to do is go inside this altdns. Hacker1.txt was a file which I had created. So if I just cat this up, sorry, it's not txt. I have the entire subdomain list of HackerOne, which I had found over here. So this is the entire list of subdomains. Obviously, this is not the complete list. This is some small list which I had found. And the final.txt. So I just run a command, which is this altdns -i hacker1.txt dash o data output, dash r is to resolve, and dash s is final.txt where I want to save the file output. With words.txt is the custom word list which I had given. So this is going to take some time in order to run. If I just shoot up an image of the same, this is how it exactly looks like. Okay, so this was a screenshot which of what I had done. The command is exactly the same. As you can see over here, we had 27 subdomains for hacker1.txt, and this is the exact command same. what it does is it uses words.txt and it permutates and combinates, and you will be able to find that around 4,44,000, or I guess 44,000, sorry, it's 44,446 requests was sent, and approximately time is 35 minutes. So yeah, it processes the entire word list and does this thing. And how did I find it? Let me just cat the final.txt, and if you can see over here, we were able to find some IP addresses and some some domains as well. Okay, so these were some of the domains which we found. This is the normal domain and this is the permuted domain which we found. And yeah, if you can see, this is something which we had found, hacker1.zendesk.com. If you check out this normally, you won't be able to find this, but we were able to
The,
find this using
the thing before the
permutation.
colon is the actual domain, and the right one is the one which is
Right,
getting resolved to, right?
right, exactly. So support.hacker1.com is getting resolved to hacker1.zendesk.com. And I guess hacker1.zendesk.com is getting redirected to docs.hacker1.com. So this thing, hacker1.zendesk.com, if you find it normally using passive subdomain enumeration, you will never be able to find this. Because यहाँ पे subdomain ही अलग हो गया ना, this subdomain is Zendesk. तो वो Zendesk का कभी मिलेगा ही नहीं. Again, similarly for github.io as well. The subdomain is github.io. You will never be able to find this particular thing until and unless you do permutations and combinations with it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you find it using active subdomain enumeration. Quickly coming to the second topic is Favicon hashes.
Yep.
Now we all know what favicons are, right? So for those
I
who
remember tweeting
do
about
not
this,
know,
about a Shodan thing where you can search for all the Favicon hashes
right?
and stuff.
Exactly. That's exactly what we are going to do. Favicons are basically these favorite icons. Favicons ka full form is favorite icons. So this thing over here, if you can see, HackerOne has its favicon called as H, a simple H. If I just go on to Google, it would be having a favicon of G. So you can see this is the favicon of google.com. Now there's a technique of favicon hashes, and inside favicon hashes, what happens is you are going to get the hash value of that particular icon. And this hash value, using this hash value, you can uh, find it wherever you want. It's not just limited to Shodan. You can find it on FOFA. You can find it on census. You can find it everywhere. If you even, I guess, if you Google it out, there would be some websites which would be displayed on the basis of favicon as well. So for this, it's very simple. How do you calculate the favicon hash is the only thing which you have to crack. But Devansh Batam is one of the very good tool maker. He creates amazing different tools. Favicon Favfreak is one of the tools which I personally love the most. Amongst the others, one of them is Param Spider. Again, that's one of the very beautiful tools which he has developed. So Favfreak, you can simply just git clone this and just run requirements.txt. And I have this already cloned up. So just go on to Favfreak. And how do you run this? Is pretty simple. You just have to mention the website name. Uh, if you have a huge list, you can mention the list as well, like cat urls.txt, wherein urls.txt would be the website names which you want to mention. If not, simply just write echo. And you're going to provide over here hacker1.txt or .com, sorry, and just provide it to Python3 favfreak.py. Hit enter. Okay, quickly install -r requirements.txt. Okay. Okay, not fetched for hacker1.com. Okay. I guess we also have to mention HTTPS in front of it.
I was also thinking.
Yeah, perfect. So if we now know, this is the hash value for the favorite icon of hacker1.com. So this is the hash value. Just put this hash value over here. Let's paste it and copy this up. Go to shodan.io and you can also go to census. Shodan, I guess I have to log in. Okay, search it over here. And once we search it, we will be able to find some domains. So you can see there's some IoT CTF which is available over here. The port 443 is open and let's visit this particular website. So click this link. Okay. Okay, I guess it's not available right now. Okay. So there's a CDF hosted on this particular IP address, and that's where we have done an asset discovery.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool. That's really nice.
it's from 2019. So this web page is from 2019.
That's nice.
So
Really
yeah. Similarly for sensors as well, I believe. Okay, so we can simply write hash and we'll be able to see all the queries which are present over here. And this one, maybe we can check out Favicon hash MD5 and just put the hash value which is present over here. Just search for it and Census is going to give us the results as well. So it hasn't provided any results. No problem. But at least from Shodan, we were able to get one such result. So this
Definitely.
is how we can have from favicons, we can gain different types of assets. This was another technique. This
Yeah.
is generally what hackers miss out. So the third one is not actually a technique, but it's something which generally people get confused with. Now, once you collect a lot of different assets, subdomains, IP addresses, you generally get confused where you have to check out from, right? You do not know कि भाई कौन सा subdomain पे सबसे पहले target करने का, right? This is one such technique which is going to definitely help you out. There was a tool which is very interesting tool called as GF pattern created by Tom Nom Nom, and GF basically works on certain patterns. It's a wrapper class around grep wherein if you ask grep to find let's say interesting subdomains or let's say uh, parameters which can have SSRF attack, GF is going to do that for you. So you can just download GF using this particular command. Now I'm not sure why, but my machine never supports GF, be it my Kali machine or my Mac machine, it never supports GF. But no problem, I would be definitely telling you how you can perform without the use of GF. But just in case if it's going to run for you, you can simply install it using this particular command which is present over here. And with GF, there are certain patterns as well which you have to install. Now GF comes with a set of limited patterns. So these are inside examples. You can see there are some set of limited patterns. Uh, there's this guy called as Indian Lead who has a huge list of different GF patterns. And in fact, even if you just get up GF patterns, you would be able to see, I guess, all the top. You would be able to see there are different repositories which are available. So GF secrets, GF patterns, GF pattern collections. So a lot of researchers have already done that. Now,
Mhm.
what is this GF pattern? So for GF patterns, what exactly it is, it's nothing, but you have a list of words and it's going to match the list of different words. So you can add all the different words which are present over here. You can just keep on adding, and these are some of the words which you can target for. So when you are looking out at the different subdomains, you can just write GF interesting subs, and it's going to, from the list of the different domains, it's going to pick the one which is best suited for you. Okay, so that's about about interesting subdomains which is present over. Uh, Effective Google docking. Now, this is one of the test cases which usually hackers miss out. They just do some Google docking, but as humans, we always miss out some or the other docs which are not available to us. Okay. So effective Google docking, to do effective Google docking, this is one website called as Pentest Tools. Okay. This is one of the websites which I love the most, and all you have to do over here is simply visit the website and just simply write the target name, which is http colon dash dash. Let's take example of Wallen Web, and these have predefined 18 different Google docs which are available. Okay, these are 18 different Google docs which are already available, and you can just select any one of them. So for example, I am going to select for sign up pages and just search Google for it. So it's going to pop out a new browser. The Google doc is going to get updated or written by its own self by whatever value you put over here. So whatever domain name you put over here, it's going to get reflected over here, and you will be able to get all the sign up pages which are available. Okay, so you can see this is sign up page. Now, one important thing to note is that everyone is going to do this, but if you want to get into deeper depths, what you can do is simply copy this. So for example, let's say I'm going to check for admin panels. Okay, there would be something called as admin panels. Uh, let's say login pages. I want to check for login pages, and over here, I want to check for admin panels. So I'm going to modify this entire Google Doc for the word admin. And now I'm going to search. Now testphp.wallenweb.com for a reason does not have the admin panel. That's a true fact. But my main concern or my main motto to tell you guys over here is just don't get limited कि भाई ये automated चीज मिल गया तो इसी पे just website डाल के we are just automating everything up. No, we do not have to do like that. Automation till here was perfectly fine, but after this, come to the manual approach. Try editing this particular Google Doc. Why did not you can create your own Google Doc from the custom own self as well, but if you edit this one, it's going to be perfectly fine as well. It's definitely going to be great as well. So you can just edit this Google Doc using admin or whatever you like, and there are a list of different 18 Google Docs which are available over here. Okay, so the next one is JS analysis. Now, JS analysis is again one of the techniques. It's very simple technique. We always listen, look out for JavaScript files, look out for this file, look out for that file, but never do we actually look out for JS files. We tend to forget, or we tend to, always miss JS file analysis. This is one of the things which one has to always remember, and it's definitely going to be useful. To do it very simple, it's very simple. There's a tool called as subjs. So you can just check out subjs. It's a tool from LC, and to install it is pretty simple. Just using Go, you will be able to install it. And how do you run subjs is pretty simple. Just have to mention urls.txt. I would advise to check out using Gao or Wayback URLs. Okay, so you can have a list of all the subdomains which are available to you. So you using passive subdomain enumeration, active subdomain enumeration, find out all the list of entire subdomains which are available, use gov or use wayback URLs in order to find the different endpoints. So for example, let's echo testphp.volenweb.com, and we use gov in order to find all the different endpoints. Now using this endpoints, we are going to use sub.js in order to just find the JS files. Okay, so now we are able to get all the different JS files. Now once we get this JS files, इसके बाद इसका करना क्या है? We are not going to go manually to each and every JS file and check out, right?
Yep.
What exactly we have to do after this is something which we are going to do using a new tool called as link finder. Okay, link finder. So ये तो JS files मिलते जाएगा, but there's a new tool called as link finder. And what link finder does for us is it's a manual tool, and what it does for us is it's going to take all the links which you input, and from those links it's going to find all the src tags. Matlab, it's going to input the JS file, and from the JS file it's going to find all the links where it's directed to. So for example, if you are using an Firebase database inside and JS file, okay, link finder is going to help you get that Firebase URL from that particular JS file. Or let's say if you're using some third party resource wherein you have to submit an authorization token, and that authorization token is hard coded, or that API key is hard coded, link finder is going to grab that entire URL and it's going to paste it for you. So for example, over here, as you can see, from a website of bbc.co.uk, it's going to paste all the different links which are present inside this JS file, Now an automated version of this is using a very beautiful Google Chrome extension called as Trufflehog. So Trufflehog exactly also does the same thing. It finds sensitive files from the JS files. Okay, you can install Trufflehog's Chrome extension from here, and all you have to do is go over here inside Trufflehog and just tick mark everything: generic secrets, specific secrets, AWS keys, environment files, Git directories, alerts, everything. You have to tick mark everything and just go onto a website. So for example, I'm going to go on united.com. This is one of the websites where I know that Trufflehog is going to give the pop-up. So this is a flight booking website. Once the website has been loaded completely, okay, not sure why it didn't give the pop-up. So yeah, on the findings one, it gives over here, there's a generic API key which is given over here, but nevertheless, even if I reload the website, there's a pop-up which usually comes up. Maybe my screen sharing is on, that's the reason it hasn't showed up. But yes, over here in the findings as well, clear this origin. Okay, now I guess it's going to pop it up. No, yeah, perfect. So
Oh yeah,
this is how it's going to show it up. I guess it was already stored inside origin once.
Okay,
that's the reason it didn't pop up. Yeah. So over here, the API key is displayed, and you can simply report this API key. Now you can use key hacks, which is another tool which we all know, which is going to validate for us. And you can copy this API key, go on to key hacks, and this entire repository. Okay, over here as well. See it found a service account type found in https google.com. So again, Trufflehog gave us alert over here as well. See, Slack workbooks alert is also given over here. So yes, we can use this particular technique as well.
Just a word of caution. Don't enable Trufflehog for all the domains sometimes, because it's trying different requests. Sometimes you get blocked on a domain, so it's better if you just keep it off while
Yes, there's a warning list over here as well that if it's going to check for environment files, it can trigger WAF bans as well.
it has happened with me.
So,
I was a bit clueless as to why that's happening. So yeah.
oh, okay. So yeah, I usually keep it off. It's better to keep it off rather than keeping it on every day. Okay. One thing which I missed out was Uncover. Now, Uncover is a beautiful tool. Not much of everyone knows about this, but it's really amazing tool. It's developed by Project Discovery and team. Uh, okay, it's developed by Project Discovery and team. The same guys who developed Enrich, Nuclei, and Katana in the very recent. So the same guys have developed Uncover, very beautiful tool. What you have to do is nothing, but it's pretty simple. So let's say you have a list of docs. Okay, now nano docs.txt, a list of docs, and this is the doc which I have. Sorry, Shodan docs or census docs. You can just have a list of different docs which is present over here. So SSL, let's say google.com, and you just have to read this docs and pass it to Uncover. What's Uncover going to do for you is it's going to find all it's going to find all the list of IP addresses for you. Okay, it's going to find all the list of IP addresses for you. Yeah, perfect. So if you see, this is one of the IP address which it has found. Now sometimes it's won't be able to find. I'm not sure why, but yes, Uncover is going to find a list of IP addresses. Now it's not just limited to Shodan. Okay, you have three different tools which is enclosed in Uncover, and this can be visible at their GitHub page as well. Okay. For me, it was three different tools. Now they have a list of more different tools. So Uncover's current version would be something else. Yes, it's version 1.0.2, and I was running version 0.0.6. Okay, so now they have increased their things to 6 to 7 different search engine supports. Shodan, Census, FUFA, Hunter, Quake, Zoomine, Netlast, Criminal IP. So what over here does is you don't have to go on to each and every website manually write the docs, print the results or download the results. Instead, Uncover is going to help you do all of them. All you have to do is set up API keys. You have to set up API keys inside this configuration file. I already have mine set it up. It's a good thing to set up two API keys because if one gets exhausted, you have the second one as well. So it can take multiple API keys and you're going to get a huge list of results. I actually have one of my very good document wherein I have shown how you can automate to find vulnerabilities using Uncover. Uh, yeah, so that's also possible as well. So Uncover is going to help you for that. Uh, okay, so the last one, which I'm going to take for now is enumerating GitHub repositories. Now, GitHub Recon is one of the things which gets very much complex. And so for example, let's say you just know the organization's name, right? And you do not know anything related to it. Uh, so what you can do is if you just know the organization's name, you can use a tool called as enum repo, and enum repo is going to help you out to find that which all organizations does have this particular name, or which all accounts does have this the get which all GitHub accounts does have the repositories which this particular name. So you can just go on to enum repo. This is one of the tools which you can find over here. You can simply install enum repo using this. This is the binary and this is the Golang version for it. And can just simply run. So for enum repo, all we have to do is just write accounts.txt, and over here you have to mention the username file, which is username.txt, and the GitHub token. So GitHub token, I guess I would be able to get that. Guys, do not use my GitHub token, please. I'm using it over here, but I hope no one else uses this. And once you hit enter, it's going to give me a huge list of repositories which belongs to the account which I've mentioned over here inside username.txt. So for an organization, let's say you have collected 10 different people's GitHub account, and what enum repo is going to do in JSON file. In JSON file, it's going to give you the link, the language, and the SSH URL of that particular repository. So this makes your work more simpler. Now, using this JSON file, you can just control F and search out for some specific things, and then you have got the repository's URL. If you find the repository to be interesting, you can simply visit that particular repository and search for all the different API keys and whatever you want, whatever GitHub Recon you want. So this work makes the GitHub reconnaissance a bit less, a bit easy. So for example, over here you can see I have a GitHub repo called as CV 2022-22296. So I can simply go on to this website, and if you simply go on to this particular URL, you can directly jump into the code source of it. So yes, this is what you can do using GitHub repo. So yeah, that was all for today's session. I hope these recon techniques would definitely help you to simplify your progress.
Definitely, this would be really helpful. I've taken down a few notes. Probably anyone who is wanting to learn more about Recon, they would definitely find this very useful. And thank you for showing all the demo exactly how those are working. That's really awesome. I mean, people just go and talk about the tools, but showing it in live demo it's the whole altogether new thing itself. Thank you, Vaibhav, for taking out the time
Right.
on this. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you, Asim, for hosting me up.
Okay. See you.